I absolutely love throwing away 1-pound propane cylinders. So satisfying.
Oh yes.
Just love throwing away these one-use propane tanks. 1 pound is all you get out of this. Not. It's horrible to have to throw these things away. You pay about $6 for one of these. There's only 90 cents worth of propane in it. So you're paying astronomical amounts just for this little container. And of course, we use it all the time. Me personally, I use it for my little buddy heater all the time for my propane gas grill. And of course, the big buddy heater as well. Not to mention gas grills, torches, all the other things we use. But these are the three main ones that I use all the time. I estimate I go through about 10 of these cans a year. The bad thing about these, estimated 40 to 60 million of these end up in the trash can every year. They're really not recyclable. A lot of people think that they are, and they can be recycled, but it costs the municipals about $5 to $25 estimated to recycle one of these because they're considered hazardous waste and they have to be dealt with properly. Most of them end up in the landfill, which is still not a good thing. They can still have propane in them, can still cause fires. So what to do with them? What is the solution? It's not just a problem with our municipalities, our landfills, but also our national parks and forest services. Yosemite in California alone estimates they go through 22,000 of these that they have to dispose of every single year. It's cost them a lot of money. It costs the governments a lot of money, and we're paying a lot of money for them. So what do we do? So obviously the answer is refillable tanks. That really is a great way to go. And yes, you can refill these. Logistically, you can. Legally, safely, you should probably not. And I know I'm going to get a whole lot of comments from all 8 of my followers.
Government can't tell me what to do. I'll refill them if I want to.
Saying, I can do that. I've been doing it for years. No problem. And yes, you can do it. They're not meant for that. They can blow up on you. They can leak on you. These are not meant to be refilled. There's several clips out there online, if you look it up, that shows the difference between these and these when they are cut open. This is very, very thin metal in here. And when you fill them and unfill them, it expands, it contracts back and forth. Not meant for that. These are a one-time valve on these as well. They're not meant to be refilled again. And you can't actually get water in these when you're refilling them, which would rust them from the inside and out. Now, yes, people do it all the time. Maybe there's only a chance of 1 in a million that you're going to have any issues with that. But do you really want to be that 1 millionth person?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Maybe it's just safer to do it the right way. Now, a few years back, I did buy a little kit here that I can use to take gas from here, put it in here, and it will work. I never used it. That thing sat around. The more I investigated it, the more I found out about it, the more I decided I don't want to be that millionth guy, because I probably would be that millionth guy for sure. So I have found a couple of different ways to do that. There's a couple of products that are meant for refill. The one that I decided to choose was the Fuel Kit. The other one is called Fuel King. There's a couple reasons I chose this one over that one. One, silly one, I think it looks a lot cooler. I like the looks of this bottle. Fuel King is kind of a cheesy crown looking thing. It looks like it was marketed in the 60s. Just looks outdated. Also with the Fuel King, you have to use a little Allen wrench to open up the valve on this, to get it to not overfill, so you know that when it's full. With this one, as we'll show you, it's all built in. You don't have to rely on having that Allen wrench. I know me. I would lose that wrench in no time and it would no longer work for me. So that was the reason I choose the fuel keg. Maybe the word keg had a little something to do with it as well. I thought it was kind of neat there. But we're going to get into this. I'm going to open this up and show you exactly how this works. All right. So as I mentioned, I went with the Fuel King here. We're going to open this up, put it all together, fill up a tank, and show you exactly how it works. Not a whole lot to these. These are actually the stands for the propane tank itself, the big one to hold it. Now, the Fuel King one comes with a stand that many people like better than this stand because it actually sits up off of the ground a little bit so you can get your hand under it to return this little valve on when you're ready. I don't have any problems with this one here, but I do see where that could be the advantage to this one. That one. To this one, the advantage is this is your whole stand. Easily folds up, easily goes back in the box. You don't have a big stand in the garage all sitting around when you're not using it. And it goes on quite easily. I have two tanks here. I have my 20-pounder. I have my 4-pounder. Most people have a 20-pounder, so for the purposes of this video, we're going to use the 20-pounder, but you could use a smaller 4-pounder if you want to. So to put these on, it just has little thumb screws on it. You want to get it on the very out edge on your first one. Buckle it down tight. Same thing with the other edge. And then, of course, your last one as close to the middle as you can. Next, we're going to hook up the actual valve that you'll use. You're going to want this little pressure valve on the top when you flip it over, so on the bottom when you put it on. Nice and hand tight. Don't squeeze it too much there and break it. And then we simply flip it over with the little valve hanging off the edge here. Next, we're going to take our fuel keg itself. And you may notice on this here, I should have showed it while I was upside down, there's a little valve inside of here that has to fit inside the little hole inside of here. So you can actually flip this around so you can see what you're doing. Match that hole up with this hole. Then tighten down your screw. Hand tight down. Maybe tighten that up just a little bit. Now you're going to want to do your release valve. As you can see on here, as I mentioned, it took a hex key for the other one. This one here, you just twist it 1/4 of an inch. And if you get from this side here, you can see there's a little gap in there when you do that, right inside of here. So closed and open, and there's a little valve. You can see right in there. It gives you a little bit of a space there. Now it's open to release pressure. We're going to reach underneath, open up the big tank, and when we're ready, all right, so I took a little brief moment, put some gloves on. I should probably put some eye protection on as well. But when this comes out, propane is freezing cold. If your hands are in the way and they hit your hands, it will give you a freeze burn. So it's a good idea to wear your safety equipment, but do as I say, not as I do in this case. So, turn that valve back on again. Once again, making sure our valve is open here. And you just press and hold this down. It's going to take about 60 seconds for it to get full. Once it does, it's going to start squirting propane out of the fuel keg. Okay, you can see it starting to squirt out a little bit of propane at the side, getting full. Once that hits solid, right now, you know it's full. Release the valve and turn it off from underneath. Close your pin. Unscrew your cap. And don't forget, release your pressure. Now, they come with a little plastic cap in case you have a failure on your cylinder inside here and start leaking propane. Problem is, there's no washer in here. This is not going to seal anything. So I highly recommend you go buy some little metal caps for this. They come in a pack of 4. So they're about $8 each. So about $2 each for these. As you can see inside there, there's a rubber gasket in there that's going to seal it up and not allow any propane to get out in case there is a failure. It's also just a lot harder, more protective there. And there you go. That's how you fill up the fuel keg, 1 pound. I'm ready to go camping. Okay, so obviously the big question is, how much is this going to cost me to be environmentally friendly? Obviously, it's not going to be just cheap and cost the same amount. You will be saving money every time you fill up one of these, but how many times are you going to have to do it to make it so you're not spending more money and you hit that break-even point? So luckily, I have broke this all down for you as well. So the kit itself, pretty affordable, $28 on Amazon. I just got this about a month ago. I'm sure you can find them for a similar price, maybe even cheaper if you look hard. So that alone seems like it's not too much to ask, right? Well, we also forget we have to buy these as well. Doesn't do any good to have them without having the refillable kits. These get a little more pricier. These are about $18 each. And let's be truthful here. I bought 3 of these, but you're probably going to want at least 2 of them, right? Nobody wants to run out of propane in the middle of their barbecue and have to stop and refill it or hook up a bigger tank or whatnot. So I would have to say it's pretty fair. Everybody's going to want at least 2 of these. So 2 of these would be a cost of $36. I want to be transparent as all get up. I do recommend you buying these caps. You obviously don't have to, but at a cost of $2 each, let's say $4 for them as well for you to get 2 of them. And then, of course, you have to fill the propane tank, the big or the little one as well. Obviously, we don't want to factor in the entire cost of a 20-pounder. So for what it's going to take to break even, my estimate, you're going to need about 4 gallons of propane, which is about the size of this bad boy right here. That's going to cost you about $15. So the whole kit total to get ready to go is about $88 with tax. I'm rounding it off, but it's about where we're at is $88. The one-time use green or blue tall tanks these days, they run anywhere from $5.50 to $8, $9 if you buy them at a campground or in some small store up the mountains or whatever. But let's just say conservatively, you're a good shopper and you're getting them for an average of $6 a piece. I think with taxes, even if you get them on sale, that's a pretty reasonable price. So in order to fill up, these cost about 90 cents to fill up one of these compared to $6 for the refillable. So you're going to be saving about $5.10 every time you fill one of these up. So in order to recap that original $88, we're looking at 17 refills. It's going to cost about 17 of these in order to break even. Then you're going to start saving that $5.10 every time you fill up. And maybe you just only barbecue a couple times a year. It's not going to be worth it for you. It's going to take forever for you to use up 17. Like I said, myself, I probably use 7 to 10 of these a year. So it's going to take a couple of years, let's say, in order for me to recoup it. But I'm not going to be throwing away 17 of these. I'm always going to have a refill on handy. And you also might be saying, hey, Mr. Soup Dude, I don't have a tank. I'm going to have to buy a new one of these. And yes, these can be pricey. Even these little ones They're actually more than the big 20-pounder ones are, but those big 20-pounders are a dime a dozen. I don't care where you're at. Look on Facebook. You'll be able to find one of those for about $20 within a 5-mile radius of you. Everybody has them. They're no longer using them. Look on Facebook. So if you want to add that in, let's just say another $20 for the 20-pound refillable, about 4 more refills and you'll be breaking even on that. So if you have to do the whole thing, we're talking about 21 refills and you'll start saving money. It may take you a couple of years, but you'll be saving the environment. You can travel with these as well. You can't refill the green ones legally and travel it. You're not even supposed to refill them. It's illegal to do it, but it's highly illegal to transport them once you do a refill. Of course, there's no propane police that are going to be pulling you over, checking your cans to make sure. But God forbid something happens, they blow up, they cause a fire, somebody gets hurt, they do an investigation, find out you've been refilling them. You could be liable for all the damages that happen if you're still alive to do it. So anyways, I hope you have found this informative. Right at the bottom there, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I'd love to get it up to 10 followers. Once again, this is Subdude, everything about camping and Subarus. I appreciate you joining me. Tanks up. And this time, I actually am happy to throw them away.